What's up, everyone? This is FP Sticks bringing you some more Go Battle League battles here in the Ultra League. In this video, I'm using a team of Articuno, Snorlax, and Swampert. And oh my gosh, these battles are in the 2800 plus rating range, and they were very difficult. And I kind of want to go through these battles and analyze the mistakes that I made that could have allowed me to possibly win the match. Because as you can see, as you are going to see, there's going to be a lot of really close games in here, and a lot of games where I definitely could have won if I would have just made one or two slight changes. And really the biggest step in improving your gameplay is being able to recognize the mistakes that are made. So let's kind of see what's going on here. I think this team is pretty decent. I really love using Snorlax in Ultra League as a safe switch, and I wanted to kind of try out an Articuno team again. I know the Asian Milkman, who's another top battler and content creator, he streams on Twitch. He really likes the team of Articuno, Snorlax, and Escavalier, which makes sense because if you lead Articuno, you need two Pokemon in the back that can hard counter Registeel. So, and Snorlax is very flexible. It's definitely not a hard counter to Registeel, but very flexible Pokemon. So, let's see what's going on here. Snorlax against Licky Licky. This is a somewhat neutral matchup, but I did have a slight energy advantage in this situation because I switched my Snorlax in and they mirrored with their Licky Licky. I'm able to regain switch advantage, which is good, but this Escavalier, okay, Escavalier is a big problem for this team, and of course I ran into a decent number of Escavalier leads, because Articuno, unfortunately my Articuno does not have Hurricane. I still don't have a Hurricane Articuno built. I just don't have enough rare candies at the moment. I'm going to be able to switch in my Articuno, barely get this Icy Wind off before the Giratina is going to be able to throw its first charge move. But I absolutely need a shield of my Articuno here and just hope that I can get to another Icy Wind. Unfortunately, today was a fairly negative day for me in Go Battle League. I think I dropped around 40 points, so I'm right below the 2800 range now. But we'll come back. We'll come back from it, and it's important to learn from these mistakes. So I am going to be able to take this game. I think I have two sets in this video, and both of them are 2-3. So I won 2 out of the 5 games in both these sets, I believe. So I take that first game. Good game. Articuno into Berserker. Oh my gosh. Berserker leads are also really not that great for this team. The steel typing of Berserker, it's going to resist all of Articuno's moves here. And if I switch in Snorlax onto this thing, even though the Shadow Claws are going to be double resisted, that close combat is no joke. So I'm just staying in here and throwing some Icy Winds and kind of feeling this out. Honestly, I could have possibly tried to catch a charge move on my Snorlax here, because it's very apparent that this Berserker is going to be able to beat my Articuno here. If I wanted to win out this matchup, I should have shielded up one of the first charge moves. So let's looking at this point, I'm just going to sack my Articuno and then bring out Swampert to farm this down. Okay. But they immediately switch into Gyarados. So I switch in my Snorlax. But with 2 shields up, this is actually going to be pretty challenging, and I'm assuming that there's either a Giratina or a Cresselia in the back, because that Berserker being in the lead, being a steel type, you're going to need something that can threaten like Charizard and threaten the fighter types. So having Gyarados and then possibly either Cresselia or Giratina in the back would make the most sense. But let's kind of see how it plays out. Out comes Berserker again. I'm able to farm it down. And it is Cresselia. Makes sense, right? You need some coverage against the possible counter users. But I have 0 shields here. I have 0 shields here, which is very unfortunate. And if this Cresselia is running Grass Knot, my Swampert is going to do hardly anything. I barely survived that Moonblast. Gonna bring out my Swampert here. This Cresselia still has 2 shields. I have to essentially land an Earthquake, because that thing is definitely not in Hydro Cannon range. So at this point, I'm just going to throw another Hydro Cannon. If I can bait and land an Earthquake, that's really my only win scenario. Oh my gosh, and then you see right there, the fast move desync. The fast move desync. Did you see how I lagged a little bit and then Cresselia started its Psycho Cut? Okay, so I literally lost this game because of fast move desync, because as you saw, we were going to CMP tie on the Earthquake. Very unfortunate. Oh my gosh, Empoleon lead is really not good. So this is the third bad lead I've encountered in this set. I do utilize Snorlax as my safe swap here. I will commit a shield here. I want to see how my opponent wants to play this out. Okay, now they switch into Togekiss. However, since I'm still have a decent amount of health and a lot of energy, I really need a win-back switch advantage here. I really need a win-back switch advantage because my Articuno is absolutely useless against that Empoleon. So I'm always trying to time my queuing of the body slams to ensure that I don't get hit by an extra charm. Okay, they're putting me in a very tough scenario here. I should have shielded this. I should have shielded that for sure and forced them to either commit their last shield or just charm it down. Because now, as you can see, I'm going to try to mud shot down the Togekiss so I have some stored energy to threaten whatever comes out. And it's a freaking Giratina, so I immediately switch into my Articuno. It's just going to get stuck against this Empoleon again, which is not great. Articuno is really going to be the thing that's going to win me this game. Swampert just doesn't have near as much play against Giratina as Articuno does. So I'm actually going to shield this up, and it's a flash cannon, so huge shield by me. I'm, at this point, just trying to run out the switch clock to be able to get my Articuno to get a charge move off on that Giratina. It's probably going to be a Hydro Cannon. It is just a Hydro Cannon. I have an Icy Wind stored. I'm going to switch into my Swampert, immediately go for the Hydro Cannon to either pressure that last shield or take out the Empoleon. They do shield it up. I'm able to get to this Earthquake, which is really nice. It's going to do about 50% damage. And I still have an Icy Wind stored, but it doesn't matter because Empoleon is still alive. Even though I'm going to be able to get this Icy Wind off, I can't sit in here and try to farm it down, and as you can see, this Icy Wind is not going to be able to take it out. Oh man, switch advantage. Switch advantage was everything. Should have double shielded Snorlax there. Another Escavalier lead. Wow. Okay, in this first set, I encounter 4 bad leads. Yikes. Okay, I think this is the match. Fair warning. I think this is the match where I just leave the match, because this is like the worst lead interaction you'll probably ever see. Okay, no shield on the Icy Wind. I'm trying to bluff that I have that I have Hurricane, but they did not take the bait. So at this point, I'm going to try to farm this thing down. I'm going to let this Mega Horn go through. It's been double debuffed. But I lagged slightly to get this Ice Shard off, and then they're able to throw another charge move. I shield it up. I lag right here, they get an extra counter, and I faint! Oh my gosh, simultaneous KO, and I'm down 2 shields. How horrible was that lead, dude? That was just really bad. Really bad. Escavalier leads are really tough for this team to deal with, but after I debuffed the Escavalier for like the second time, I should have just switched into Snorlax. I couldn't be at that huge of a shield deficit anyways. So I'm still playing this out, but then at some point I just am like, yeah, there's no point here. I think once I see what their final Pokemon is, I think it's like a Giratina or something. So they're staying in here with Swampert. Oh, actually, no, I think I remember this. I think it's a Registeel in the back, actually. So if I would have just... Oh my gosh, it's a Registeel. So if I would have just not played this like an idiot with the opening matchup, our team comp had some play here. Man, that was so... Have you guys ever seen an opening lead that trash? That was so bad. So I leave. I totally got outplayed. Good game. Articuno and Articuno. This is at least a neutral lead. At least a neutral lead for us. We will take that. I'm just going to go straight Icy Wind here. I just want to get the debuff off. It looks like I lost CMP, which is very surprising because my Articuno really does not have that good of IVs. But this is unfortunate because now my Icy Winds are going to be doing less damage. And at some point in here, CMP switches. So it looks like we must have the exact same attack IV. Because when Pokemon both have the same attack, CMP is randomized. And you saw I was able to get my Icy Wind off there. They might have tried to overfarm. But here, I'm able to get another Icy Wind off. So this is kind of interesting. CMP definitely flipped here. Or my opponent's just trying to overcharge for some reason. But I just got an extra Icy Wind in there. I will mirror my opponent's shield usage there. And now I'm able to get to this Icy Wind. Man, our fast moves are totally out of sync here. I do not know what's going on. Down goes Articuno. I have won the lead. Let's see how important switch advantage is. Oh my gosh. Are you ready to see this team? So out comes Snorlax. It has a little bit of loaded energy. I'm going to mirror with my own Snorlax. Articuno lead means whatever is in the back needs to be able to beat Registeel. So I'm thinking it could possibly be a Charizard. I want to have my Swampert for that. It could possibly be a Swampert. Some people even like to use Giratina Altered as a Registeel counter if they use that as a safe swap. But granted that my opponent is running Snorlax here, normally they probably would use Snorlax as a safe swap. So I still don't know what's in the back. It could be a Swampert. It could be a Charizard. Those are my two biggest thoughts of what it could be right now. That Snorlax is barely out of Hydro Cannon range, I think. But they shielded up, so we will not know. I get an extra Mud Shot through, which is really great. I still don't know what's in the back, so I'm saving my shield. It was a Swampert. They're literally running the exact same team as me. That is crazy. I have to shield this up. Looks like one Mud Shot away from another Hydro Cannon here. And two Mud Shots. And I'm going to be able to get this Hydro Cannon. I'm really hoping this is enough to take out the Swampert. It is enough. Out comes Snorlax. But they leave the match, so we're able to take that win. Good game. Articuno and a Giratina. This is a really good lead. Okay, let's see if I win this match. Swampert needs to avoid this. Anytime I have a lead like this, I'm always thinking about what I have in the back, so I can try to make as fast of a swap as possible. I'm thinking in my head, okay, Swampert needs to avoid this. If they switch out, most likely I will bring Swampert into that. But they shield that, and now they bring out their own Swampert, which is very interesting. So Giratina lead. They're going to need a counter to a Charm user, so maybe a Registeel in back. But I'm just going to bring out my own Swampert. I'm up a shield. I have debuffed the opposing Swampert, and this way my own Swampert gets to avoid my opponent's Giratina, which is really good for me. Overfarming just a little bit. Really hope this Hydro Cannon is going to be enough. I think it's barely not going to be enough, and then I'm able to Mud Shot it down. Thank goodness before it gets to another Hydro Cannon. I definitely could have got to an Earthquake here, but I was very nervous that I wouldn't be able to get a move off, so I just went for Hydro Cannon, and I got the shield anyway, so it's very good for me. At this point, I'm up 2 shields. Things are looking pretty good. I'm going to bring out Articuno again. Probably going to have to shield up one of these charge moves. I still have no idea what's in the back, but I know it's probably got to be a Charm counter. Okay, it's Cresselia. So this is totally fine for me. Snorlax up 2 shields. We're looking just fine. I have a little bit of a head start on energy on my Articuno, which is exactly what I needed. No matter what these moves are, I'm going to shield them up, really hoping I don't get the attack debuff. The first one goes through without the debuff, thank goodness. Today I encountered a match where an Obstagoon got a double boost, and then in the very next match I went up against a Togekiss that got the boost. Needless to say, I did not win those 2 games, and man, Ultra League can feel very RNG dependent sometimes. I make a sack swap into my Articuno. I really think that was a solid play that helped solidify this match for me, because now I'm going to be able to get to this Earthquake on the Giratina, and then I'll be able to lick it down and then get a Body Slam for the Cresselia. So that put me in a more comfortable scenario. I think it was a solid play, maybe not necessary, but it just solidified the win a little bit harder there. Good game. Articuno into Registeel, worst possible lead, so we're going to immediately switch into Snorlax. Oftentimes, people play this out. If they're the Registeel, they stay in here, they're going to draw a shield from the Focus Blast. And now they're going to switch in their Cresselia. So this leads me to believe maybe it's a Giratina in the back, Shadow Claw Giratina possibly. Because if Cresselia is their best answer to a Snorlax, that's kind of interesting. If I can win back switch advantage here, this will be amazing. Because it's going to allow my Swampert to get onto the Reggie. Out comes the Moonblast. I don't get the debuff. Thank goodness. I'm throwing these body slams before Cresselia is able to get to another Moonblast. Because I really don't want to be debuffed here. And winning back switch advantage is so important here. At this point, I should be able to fast move down this Cresselia and ensure that I have switch advantage. But they just gave up switch advantage right there. They switched in their Reggie. So I'm able to get my Swampert aligned with it. But I am at a shield deficit. I do shield up a Focus Blast. Really good for me. I could possibly bait here, but if my opponent doesn't shield this, this is going to be great. Okay, they do shield it. That's fine. They're obviously going to go for a Focus Blast here because shields are down. We're still looking okay, though. Unfortunately, Articuno just has no play against this Reggie, so I'm going to throw another Earthquake. Curious as to whether or not they're going to shield again. They let it go. Thank goodness. It's a Gyarados. This is not great. I bring out my Articuno into this. Oh man, I remember this match. I bring out my Articuno, and I know that they have Cresselia in the back that they're going to try to sack. And they sacked it right at that moment. I even overcharged to try to avoid that happening, but it did not work. So huge props to my opponent. That was the play that won them this game. And this is crazy to think about. Even encountering that worst possible lead, I was able to regain switch advantage. And so it gave me more of a hope of winning this matchup. But really solid play from my opponent, making the sack swap into Cresselia. As you can see, they're going to farm me down. I'm going to bring out my Swampert. I essentially had to... they still had a shield, so I wasn't going to be able to get to 2 Hydro Cannons. Had to mud shot it down, but very, very solid play from my opponent. Good game. Articuno into Togekiss. This is a good lead for me. How can I screw this up? They're staying in. They're going to switch into Cresselia. I'm just going to throw this Icy Wind to debuff it before I get out of here, I believe. Going to store up some extra energy. Okay, now I'm going to switch into Snorlax. This is a debuffed Moonblast. So Snorlax can easily take that. And the first Moonblast I get debuffed. That is unfortunate. But the Cresselia's attack has been dropped. And so has my Snorlax's. So I guess we're on even playing field right now. Probably just going to be another Moonblast. They do go for another Moonblast. Out comes the Togekiss again, and this is unfortunate because my attack has been dropped. Because I gave up switch advantage, I really want to get into my Articuno as quickly as possible. I'm able to get to it there, but they forced the CMP tie, which is not great. So I'm going to shield this up, throw the Icy Wind, but not charge it up at all because I want to be able to farm down this Togekiss, have a little bit more energy. Should be able to get to two more Ice Shards. I'm down a shield. Oh my gosh, and now my Articuno is stuck against this Reggie. But luckily, I know that they have Registeel, and my Swampert's going to be able to get aligned to that. But I'm down a shield. And what you're going to notice, people that play Reggie, a lot of the times so they're going to undercharge the Flash Cannon. Solid play. And then they're going to try to leave, they're going to farm me down and leave this matchup with 100 energy. Then switch out, clear their debuff, and then they have a very healthy Registeel with 100 energy loaded, which puts me in a very tough position. I bring in my Swampert. There's the switch out. Is this Grass Knot? Of course! Of course it's a freaking Grass Knot, dude. Of course. So that really was the nail in the coffin there for this game. I'm not able to get to another Body Slam. Oh, man. These matches were so tough. These matches were so tough. I still have a Registeel I have to deal with. So it is not happening. I can't mud shot this thing down. Cresselia is just going to get to another Grass Knot. Good game. Good game. Had a favorable lead, but I was at a shield deficit. That was unfortunate. Articuno into Swampert. Okay, Articuno wins this if I commit my shield first, which is very unfortunate because in the later battle scenario, you don't want to have to be shielding up Hydro Cannons that have been debuffed. So if your opponent wants to commit shields in this, unfortunately, you have to commit your shield first to just solidify this matchup. And what typically happens is if the Swampert does not shield at all, you can pretty much guarantee that a Registeel is going to be coming out to hardwall my Articuno here. Down goes Swampert. There's the Registeel. I'm going to immediately switch into Snorlax, so my Articuno is at least still going to have some play. And this is really nice. Out comes the Giratina. This is going to allow my Articuno to get onto the Giratina and my Swampert to get onto the Registeel. So even though I gave up switch advantage, there honestly was no point in sacrificing my Articuno there, because as we have seen, the Registeel is just going to stay in there, take the debuffs, and eventually switch out. So we're just playing this out. I'm just going straight for the Earthquake. It is so risky to bait in this matchup. The Earthquake lands really good for me. I'm going to be able to bring on my Articuno to farm this down. And we are looking very good. If this is a Focus Blast, I really need to shield it. I do shield it. Most Regis go straight for the Focus Blast, especially when they have an energy advantage like that. Let's see if they want to let this Earthquake go through. They do shield it up, but now these Mud Shots plus the Earthquake damage should be enough. My Articuno is still decently healthy. I can't really overfarm too much because I don't want to get hit by a Flash Cannon. This Earthquake is going to be enough to KO this Registeel. Takes it out. Out comes the Giratina. I need to get to this Hydro Cannon, but they're not going to let me do it. I should be able to just fast move down this Giratina. Yeah, I'll be able to get one more Ice Shard, and this will take it out. Pretty good win there. Pretty good win. As you can see, if you win the lead with Articuno, and they have a Steel type to meet Articuno, it's like the biggest slap in the face. So you kind of have to aggressively give up switch advantage to actually allow your Articuno to have more play. Otherwise, it's just totally useless against a Regi. Absolutely useless, because they're just going to clear the debuffs anyways. This Articuno Cresselia matchup is very interesting. If the Cresselia gets the debuff on Articuno, this ends up being a pretty bad scenario. So there's the Registeel. They aggressively switch Registeel in here. So I'm able to get my Swampert switch locked against this Regi, which is really good. I should have shielded, but that's okay. No, this is fine. We're gonna leave even shields here. If they were to have shielded up that Earthquake, I would have been in a very tough situation. But I'm able to get to this Hydro Cannon before they can get to a Flash Cannon. Good for me. Out comes that pesky Cresselia again. Let's see if they're rocking Grass Knot. It's just another Moonblast. So at this point, I'm curious as to what is in the back. I'm going to bring out my own Snorlax, because we know the Registeel is out of the way. So whatever's in the back, Articuno should have a decent amount of play against. They get the attack debuff on Snorlax, which is really unfortunate. But this is fine. Body Slams. I get a shield there, which is pretty interesting. So I will also shield. I shield up the Future Sight. I aggressively switch into my Articuno, and it's a Charizard in the back. Oh man. This game. The Charizard's able to farm me down. I'm not able to get to an Icy Wind. My debuff has been cleared. I'm able to throw this Body Slam. I get the last shield. This Snorlax is in body range. I should have shielded right here. I should have shielded. Oh my gosh. And now they have enough energy to also get to a Dragon Claw. So now I have to shield up this Dragon Claw. And here I should have thrown Body Slam immediately and not taken another Fire Spin. Another huge mistake. Because as you will see, Cresselia Psycho cuts me down and I lose. Man, I hope you guys learned something from this video. I always learn a lot watching my own gameplay and seeing how many mistakes I made. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you did. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.